2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
It's Legends with Russell Talman.
Let's go to Russell in Newark. What's going on, Russell?
All right, here at 135 Prince Street, that Hub Life Radio. I have the man, I used to call him Haas the River, but I don't think that's apropos. A very important young man, Hassan Abu Sabur.
Word.
So I understand we want to get you out in time because I understand you got to go eat dinner or something.
Yes, man. Long day at work.
Always
long day at work.
Always a long day. So on the I want to make sure I give out the props at the beginning because I might forget at the end. This one is produced by Magic Mo from Washington Park. North Star, he over there smiling. And then we have the Observer today. I might have to let Mr. Hart, Mr. Earl Hart the third, EH3, he over there smiling with his Duke t-shirt on. We already gonna have problems because I'm a North Carolina State dude.
Oh wow!
It's all North Carolina. It's his family over there.
No fighting.
Man, what? Nah, I can't. Not little cuz. So this episode, I usually pick out somebody who's instrumental in the community. So I don't know, about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, there was a young man who I happened to be passing, through acquaintances, Mr. Hassan, hostile, Haas with style.
Haas with style, or might be a little hostile some days.
Maybe a little hostile.
Maybe a little hostile.
It might be part of your job description.
Sometimes. You gotta switch up. It's two sides of the coin.
Two sides of the coin. I like that. Two sides of the coin. Okay. So, Mr. Haas, you actually came up with an idea. You're the architect of the HBCU scholarship ride from Newark, New Jersey to Washington, D.C.
Yes.
So let's just start this off.
Word.
How did you come up with this idea?
How did I come up with the idea for the HBCU scholarship ride? Good question, easy question. I went to Howard in 91. I got down there in 91, and I was a kid from Newark with not a lot of resources, first generation college student, the story of a lot of, the same story a lot of us share. And, didn't have resources, so I ended up coming back home, not graduating, and that always sat with me, not graduating from college, especially you could go on and later on in life and graduate. Like, I'm in school now, I'll graduate, it's not a big deal, but to not finish that part and for it to be such a dope school and have so many friends and experiences from it, it never sat right with me. So fast forward, a friend of mine calls me up from California and says, hey, my niece is at Howard now. Well, actually, my best friend, my brother, called me up, said my niece is at Howard. She might not finish up because we ran out of money, blah, blah, blah. Her mother ran out of money. She has a GoFundMe. So I donated to the GoFundMe. And I was like, yo, I could do more. Like, I want to do more because it kind of triggered me not going back. So I ended up, I'm a bike rider, but not like a lot of people think. I like ride my bike to work, to the store, to different things. So I always wanted to do a long distance ride. So down to D.C., Chocolate City to Chocolate City, North to D.C. So I said I never had a purpose to do it. You just don't want to wake up and ride your bike to D.C. for nothing. So this gave me the perfect purpose. Like, yo, maybe I could ride and raise money. So that's what we did. We started up a GoFundMe page for the young lady, and we raised $7,000 that first year.
Wow, $7,000.
That was the beginning.
So you skipped something. After you had the epiphany, who did you because I know you didn't do this by yourself.
No.
Who did you pitch this to?
Wow. Oh, that's another thing, and that's important that you bring up that this is not a solo venture. So I called up a lot of people. I called up a bunch of people like, yo, I want to ride to D.C. And a bunch of people say, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. You got to prepare for 30 days. You got to eat lemons all day, whatever they made up that I had to do to discourage me from doing this.
You said eat lemons all day?
People say weird things, man. They like, because they don't want to do it, they'll tell you a million things you got to do. I want to go to Duke to play basketball. Well, Krzyzewski got to see you, and it's got to happen. So people, like, they don't know that they discouraging you or trying to discourage you. So I finally hit my man Delonte, and that's all you need sometimes is one person. So Delonte said, yo, let's roll. I'm with it. And I'm like, okay, I got Delonte. And Delonte really recruited the team.
Okay.
I just recruited Delonte. He recruited the team, and it ended up being 6 brothers leaving from Essex County to go down to Washington, D.C.
So let me just. Okay. So as is my nature,
Yes.
Delonte has a different name, doesn't he?
Jamar Bass.
Jamar
Brother
Bass.
from the esteemed Bass family of the South Water North.
Yes. Okay.
That's brother Jamar, his crew. So I'm quite sure everybody know a Bass. Some you know a cousin or somebody. So you know. Brother,
Okay.
Brother Delonte.
So you pinched the idea in 6 brothers.
Yep.
That was 2021.
That was 2020.
2020.
So that was another thing. It was the pandemic going on. So we weren't supposed to be traveling to hotels, to certain states. But I'm the type, once I get it in my mind, I'm going to do it, man. I gotta, because I believe that you weaken yourself by not completing little tasks that you are up for. So if you say, I want to try out for the team, and you don't try out for the basketball team because whatever reason, the next year is harder for you to do because you just weaken that energy. So the more you don't complete tasks, the harder it is to complete a task. So once I put it in my mind, whether I'm going to fail, whether I'm going to make it, I'm going to start that journey. So that's what it was. So COVID was not stopping me from doing this. So that's what we did.
Look at that. You had the ingenuity.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that you actually glossed over it. You said people would find ways to discourage you. Now, I know for a fact, because my former job that I used to work in 1,380 something days ago, they had a special group that had to train for months to ride long distances.
Yeah. It's a cop group that rides along. They do 4 days. I'm gonna tell you that.
There
right
you
now.
go.
They do 4 days. We do it in 3 days. You know what I'm saying?
You trying to say they slow?
I say it. I love those guys. Big shout out to them for raising money for the fallen soldiers and things like that. But they do it in 4. We do it in 3. It's a lot of people. Bike riding is a very competitive sport. So some people could do 200 miles. I know a couple of folks from this club called Major Taylor. They did like 200 miles in a day. I was like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it could be done.
Let's. I'm gonna get off topic real quick. So what's the most you ever done in it? How many miles did you? I don't want to say done. That's horrible English. But what's the most miles you've ridden on during this journey?
The most I think it's like 106. We got lost going down to Philly, so it stretched out to like 106 one time. Well, at least it said on my Strava like 106, and we were burnt out. And mind you, you fighting the elements because we do this at the end of August, so you really fighting the elements. So it's 90 degrees outside. It's hot. You've been riding all day. You can't eat a lot of food when you're on a bike, so you literally drinking pickle juice and popping electrolytes and water all day and 106 miles. For me, other people might say, man, I do that and whatever. For me personally, it was a lot. You know what I mean?
So I'm gonna show Haas first, and then I'm gonna show the camera. So this is one of them. This is one of them days.
This definitely one of those. Actually, this was like day 1. This was day 2, and we stopped and I took a little nappy nap. You know what I'm saying? I was tired, man, brother.
Now we can work out a deal right now.
Nah, don't put that pitch out.
But wait a minute, you ain't hit a deal. It'll cost you, I don't know, $25 a week.
I'll pay it.
Well, that was quick.
I'll pay it. Don't
show the camera.
You could show the camera. I don't mind. Go ahead. That is definitely me and Atia Rashidi, one of our board members, and poking fun. But the other picture is Atia knocked out.
See, I didn't get that one.
Yeah, they got to show that one because everybody, and that's the thing, we stop sometime, and that stopping is detrimental to you because as long as the momentum, if you could keep your momentum up, and that's the real thing. And I just want to take a quick pause. I know you ain't asked me.
Go ahead.
We are in the middle of fundraising this year. So the thing behind it is that we raise money for students going to HBCUs from Newark. So that first year we did it for one student. We raised $7,000. Then the next year we did it for two students, Kyle and Janae, who were going to Howard. The goal was $25,000. We raised $38,000. Last year we did 6 students going to Howard, Morgan, University of Maryland, Eastern Shore, North Carolina A&T, and I forget the other, it's slipping my mind, but it was 5 HBCUs for 6 kids last year, and we raised $88,000. Our goal was $50,000, so we surpassed that. But this year, me being who I am, and I don't know why I do it, I shoot myself in the foot, and they say if your dreams don't keep you up at night, then they ain't really big enough. So this year we raised the goal up to $100,000. We got 14 or 15 students all from Newark. Some of them go to charter, some of them go to private, some of them go to public, but they all Newark students. And our goal is $100,000 this year. So we need folks to go out there, go to hbcuscholarship.com, click on that donate button. But we are getting there. That's the main goal. So I don't just like riding my bike to ride my bike. I want to ride my bike for a purpose. And the best thing in the world is watching these young kids matriculate at all these wonderful universities, all of these HBCUs, and do their thing.
So you said you went to Hampton, right?
You wildin'. Hell no. Nah, let me I love Hampton. We got 3 beautiful Hampton kids this year, but I went to Howard U.
Oh, no, my bad. I was a little confused with the H's and everything.
Nah, don't get confused. One is light blue, the other dark blue.
Well, okay.
One is that go the banter from Hampton and Howard goes back and forth, but it's always all love. I love my Hampton folks, but I love Howard, and that's the amazing thing about going to a HBCU. You could be there. People be like, "Haas, you ain't even the councilwoman." I work for the councilwoman of the Central Ward. She always get on me. Her and former councilman John James used to say, "Haas, you ain't even graduate." I said, "Man, I don't care." As soon as I stepped on that campus, that was home, and I love it. You know, I love that school. It gave me so much. I tell people all the time, I don't think I have any job in my life outside of a Howard person being an instrument in helping me get in.
Yeah,
and that's from 2 years being down there. So imagine the kids who spent 4 years, 5 years down there. I tell people all the time, if I'd have spent 5 years down there, I'd have been president. You know what I mean?
Wow.
But it's that's the magic that happens at HBCUs. So I don't think a lot of our North kids get chances to explore those schools. So we only hear about Princeton, you know, and I'm no swipe at Duke, but we hear about how great Duke is, but how great is Duke for black students? So the thing I want people to know about HBCUs is they only have 13% of black student population. So if 100 black kids are going to college, only 13 of them are going to HBCUs. So that's 13%, but HBCUs graduate more black students. I still don't know how that's possible, but HBCUs produce a better product. They produce not all our black physicians, but a majority of black physicians, over 50%, 80% of black federal judges. Actually, so many black folks right now. The lady who is actually prosecuting Trump graduated in 93 from Howard University.
We don't mention 45 on this podcast, just so we straight. But I hear you.
The former guy.
Okay, that works for me.
But so many dope products come out of HBCUs. Our current mayor is a Howard graduate. Keisha Bottoms, the mayor of Atlanta, I think she was Florida. Ralph Warnock, Morehouse.
Senator.
Yes, the Senator Morehouse. Stacey Abrams, Spelman, the first congressional clerk in the United States, the lady currently that has that job, Howard. So you hear about all these great people, and they're coming from these schools. That's why I think it's important that we support Newark students, because Newark students sometimes get to those schools and don't have the resources to complete. Like now with this affirmative action, everybody think is great. For HBCUs, it's really bad because it's going to put such a strain on their already limited resources. So that's why we essentially do our HBCU ride. And when we hand these kids that $5,000, that $7,000, and they cut their mother bill in half, all the mothers and fathers looking at me like we love you. You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh, that was a wonderful soliloquy. You kind of smooth with it.
Hey man, I'm gonna bring it in.
The interesting part is you find out that a lot of HBUs will come out and recruit, but after that first year, the funds is different. Yeah. Funds are much different. So a lot of kids come home and that disappointment stops. I commend you for continuing education.
Of course,
doing what you do, working hard. Wherever you work at, you work hard.
Yes, they definitely tell you that. Like I remember going to freshman orientation at Howard. It was in the auditorium, Crampton Auditorium. They tell you straight up, look to your left, look to your right. Those students won't be here when you get here next year. So they automatically know whether it's grades, whether it's finances. It's so tough to be there. So you have take a school like Xavier in Louisiana. Mm-hmm. And that small school Xavier, they produce more doctors, the black doctors
per capita
than all these other schools. But guess what? Xavier's endowment is $91 million a year. That seemed like a lot of money, for a college.
But it's not.
But then you take a school like Johns Hopkins, whose endowment is $1.1 billion, and they don't produce half as many black doctors as Xavier. So why not dump resources into Xavier, because they're producing these products, but we pour back into schools like Harvard. Like we get so happy about Harvard has a $64 billion endowment or some crazy number. Like their endowment is more than small countries' GDP. And we pour into these schools. We love these schools. The government subsidizes these schools, but then they undercut our schools that are producing all of these great people.
Wow. So here at 135 Prince Street, that Hub Life Radio.
Hub Life. You
actually saw a young man come in here, and I think he's going to actually put up a video as well on the thing. I'm see if I can get him a couple of nice pictures too. Yeah. We have Mr. Haas with style, Sabur.
With style. Yes.
How long did it take for you to prepare for this journey that you take? This will be the third year, right?
This will be the fourth year.
The fourth year.
2020 was the first, 2021, 2022, and now the fourth year. Well, I do a lot of walking. So I walk because I don't get to ride my bike because the majority of our life now is raising money. You know what I'm saying? So I'm out here begging and running my mouth and begging for money. So, but the what I do to prepare, like this Saturday, I'm gonna wake up 6 o'clock in the morning. It's a road in Dover called Green Hill Pond Road, and it's like mad long and it's a hill. So I try to do as much for all my bike folks out there. I try to get in as much elevation as possible. So if I ride 25 miles, I want to get in 900 feet of elevation. So usually what I do is I leave from my house, I go all the way up Park Avenue in Newark, and I hit Main Street in West Orange, and I cut and I go all the way up Northfield Avenue till I can't go anymore.
You don't go up Eagle Rock?
Eagle Rock is a tough hill, and I do like Eagle Rock, but it'll break you early. So I try to get in a little bit of a slighter incline there, but Eagle Rock Avenue is a tough hill, and I had a man who bet me he could do Eagle Rock Avenue on a fixie. I still want to take him up on that bet, but yes, I do like Eagle Rock. I do like Eagle Rock Avenue.
So a couple minutes ago, I also had a small epiphany. I've known this man close to 7.5 years. And I thought Mr. Haas walked everywhere. I didn't even know he had a car.
A lot of people don't know I have a car. They, another board member of mine, Al Tariq, one day I was driving, or I said, I'm getting in my, he said, you need a ride. I'm like, nah, I'm good. My car right there. He said, Haas, I didn't even know you drove. But that's the thing in Newark and in New Jersey in general, driving is looked at as a status symbol. So what kind of car you drive. So it's a lot of people that say, oh, I don't take the bus. I get on the bus. I take the light rail. It just make more sense sometimes. But in Newark, we so conditioned to driving everywhere. Like if I tell you I'm coming to the hub and I'm on at ShopRite, I'll get in my car and drive over here. Like I'll walk home. I mean, you could walk a 0.3 miles, but people will actually. I know people who say I'm going to get a cup of coffee and drive 2 blocks to the store to get a cup of coffee. So we got to recondition ourselves. So I like these young brothers and sisters nowadays because a lot of them aren't focused on cars. They'll jump in an Uber. So it's better for the environment too, because black people and poor people that live in urban environments, we suffer from asthma and all of these things. We live in the worst areas by the most congestion and smog. Like I lived in West Orange for a little bit. And I used to get off at exit 7, and I swear to God, I would be coming from Newark, and I get off at exit 7, and my windows roll down. I'm like, yo, it's cooler up here. Now, mind you, you're a little bit further up in the mountains.
Elevation.
But that means they got more trees up there. We got, more concrete, empty lots and stuff that generate more heat. That means we generate bigger bills and have more problems and all of this stuff. So I like to do my part. I ain't a tree hugger, but I definitely like to save the environment, walk as much as possible. But I'm glad you ain't know I drove. But anybody want to know, I do have a car. It's a very old car. It's older than these little brothers sitting right here. But guess what? It get me around, and I'm not going to spend my life paying on a car note. So a lot of these young kids, y'all are better than us because y'all have figured that part out, that it's a waste of money to go out here and be purchasing a Benz and paying $1,000 a month for a car note when you could travel and do stuff like that.
Wait a minute, you got a problem with me having a Benz?
No, your Benz is very nice, and hopefully you could ride me in it one day.
Oh my! So here we go. We talking. No, you're right. When Haas talks about people driving 2 blocks, when he says people, I am people.
You are people.
I am people.
We don't walk in Newark, and we need to. But it's a whole book. I read this book, Jane Jacobs. Y'all should read it. It's a boring book, but it's like about city planning. I forget what it's called, but I read it, and it talks about city blocks that are wider. It generates people walking. Better lighted cities generate people walking and things like that. So the more you walk, the safer. If you see a bunch of people walking back and forth outside, you don't feel like, man, I ain't going out there. You more likely to start walking and things like that. We have to get out, and walking is better for small businesses too, because if you walk to the store instead of driving to Route 22, like if you ever notice, I love the neck. The neck is like, for me, the neck is lovely because everything they need is right there on Ferry Street.
I'm kind of familiar with the neck, Ironbound section. I just happen to peruse it, go through it every once in a while.
If you ride, I know you ride through every now and then, but it's everything right there. So you don't got to get in no car. You got 5 grocery stores. You could buy us a gold watch. You could buy your school uniform. So I think our neighborhood should have more things. So promote riding your bike, promote walking, and you look cool doing it. No bull. Like
you look cool anyway, man.
No, hey man, for real. Thank you, brother Russ.
Absolutely. So here's the thing. This is the 4th year. What difference did you notice, or things that you changed from because I think the biggest change from the first year to the 2nd year. What was the biggest change that you took in that 1 year that you improved upon that 2nd year?
Oh, that's easy. It was my brother Malik, letting him take over the route part. So realizing as a founder and as a leader of something, you don't have to lead in every part of the organization. So recognizing my weakness in the route, that was major, because the first year I almost killed everybody. You know what I'm saying? The Malik said, which way we going? And I typed in Google, no tolls, no highways. Man, we was on some crazy streets wilding. They was like, yo, Haas, you trying to kill us. So recognizing I'm a little weaker at planning the actual route, letting that brother take it. But it seems small, but that's major, because having 15 or 25 people that you responsible for 250 miles, you feeling like if somebody falls. Last year we had a young lady, God bless Talani, she fell, she scraped her arm up pretty bad, and it made me realize, like, what we're doing is we not riding on closed off streets. We next to trucks passing us by and going over bridges that aren't smooth and gravel. So that is the important part, that we get everybody, because it's a 3-day journey. We ride from Newark to Philly. Then the next Saturday morning, we wake up and ride from Philly to Aberdeen, Maryland, and then Aberdeen, Maryland to D.C. So it's a 3-day ride. Fatigue sets in, and you know about fatigue. You good for the first 8 hours, adrenaline, but the next day you got to get up and do it again, or you got to get up and do it again. So that one little trick shot you can hit, and my thing is do it 2 more times and show me. But that was the biggest change, having Malik take over the route.
So all right, I heard 2 things about it. Two things about the route. Is it any truth to the fact that when you were doing the route, you ended up in the place where they actually, what they call it in The Wire, the place where all the activity was allowed? Did y'all go through that section?
Oh yeah, we rolling through Baltimore, so you gonna get a little bit grimy rolling through Baltimore. But to be honest, I felt safer in that area than I did going in a private road through Maryland. And if anybody know Maryland, it gets sketchy down there sometimes as far as people of color and black men. And that's another thing we have to look at. We're black men and black women riding on these bikes through neighborhoods. People look at you. You know, some people on the side of the road might not like you, so they might drive a little bit closer to you. So it's things like that you have to look at in all things. But that sketchy neighborhood, I'm riding through Newark. I'm used to that. I'm like, all right, fellas, what's going on? And a lot of people stop and ask us. That's the dope thing about this ride. We'll be riding through and stop at a Wawa or something, or whatever they have down there. And people will be like, oh, what y'all doing? Are we from Jersey? Y'all from Jersey? Well, y'all rode all your bike. People would give us money. Like a dude was like, gave us $50. A lady walked out the store. I swear to God, she walked out the store. She had just hit the picket. She gave us money. Like, y'all doing what? Al Tariq had told her what we was doing, and she was like, what? Gave us money. So all the people we meet along the way, cheering us on, giving us money, helping us get to that goal is dope. But yeah, we rode through some sketchy.
Okay, because
Philly gets sketchy too.
We ain't talking about Philly right now. We talking about going through where the wire was shot at, where they had the no cop zone. They was doing whatever they wanted to do over there.
The free market pharmaceutical area.
The free market unlicensed pharmaceutical specialist area. That's what I was told. Okay, so the second thing is, you mentioned a guy named Al Tariq. Are you referring to Al Tariq, Mr. Best, Mr. Hub Life right here? Is that the Al Tariq you speaking about?
No, that Al Tariq was a ride with us, man.
Oh, okay.
We gotta get Al Tariq and some of the Hub young fellas. I want to see this open up. I'll be 50 this year. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all could tell with all my gray, but I'll be 50.
Wisdom.
So it's important that younger folks take up I'm not interested in doing this for the next 10 years. I'm interested in building something and giving it to them so they could further it and turn this 100,000 into 100 million. So that's my ultimate goal in Newark, is to become a homegrown foundation from Norcas that raises money, and the goal is $1 million. So I want to raise $1 million. So I think on Newark Public Schools website, I think in 2021, 34 kids from Newark Public Schools went to HBCUs.
Wow.
So that's so low of a number too, because it's 12,000 kids in the it's 12,000 kids in a high school. So out of that pool, you only got 34 that felt that they could go to these HBCUs, and probably because most of the time they don't get enough money. Like, you get more money to go to Rutgers, obviously, than you do to North Carolina A&T. But so 34 kids, $50,000 a kid, like $1.7 million. We could raise that. And imagine 34 North kids being able to go to a dope HBCU for free. That's the goal.
Since you start talking money, and
you gonna write that check? Thank you.
Oh,
bro.
Whoa, slow down, bro.
I knew he had it.
Slow down, bro.
Invite me. You know what? I'll stay up a little bit later tonight just to watch you write that check. Thank you, bro.
As your new manager
Oh.
That's where I go with
that's
this
it.
show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I expect that W-4 to be correct.
Oh, okay.
I don't like the 1099s. I want all my taxes taken out of the check you give me because I'm gonna be running security. Yes, we do need security. You absolutely need security, bro.
Yes.
And I'm a license, but I like the way you pivoted out and you didn't answer the question. The question was, it wasn't Al Tariq Best. Which Al? I know a lot of Al Tariq.
Oh no, this was actually brother Al Tariq Kenny. You know that he is gonna that is our guy on the ride. You know what I'm saying? He's our unwanted inspiration sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But Al Tariq is he's definitely a talker and people gravitate to him. So he'll be talking to folks along. He just met that lady in the store. She walking out giving us money. So we have a bunch of people along the ride. And I do want to shout out our sisters because I mentioned a bunch of brothers. We do have sisters like Atia who takes the ride, and Talani, and a young lady Ajua comes up from Philly where she's focused and she rides with us also. So we do. It's a nice group of men and women, you know what I mean, that do this. Cause I want to make it seem like the men just out here raising the money doing this. No, the sisters are. If anybody know, the sisters doing the majority of the work.
Absolutely. Now, one more thing, and I'm gonna switch subjects. Yeah. So Al Tariq Kenny also has another title. He's something with some sort of government agency.
Yes.
But I heard the other part of the story that I heard about y'all riding through the unlicensed pharmaceutical zones. But I also heard that Mr. Kenny, during day 2, decided he didn't want to ride no more because
he heard a lot of stories
because his ingrown toenail got to be too tough for him and he wanted to walk. Is that true?
You know what? We got a thing called tapping out. So I don't know. I'm gonna leave him. He could come up here and explain if he tapped out or not. I don't, brother Al Tariq. I saw you riding. All I see is the beginning and the end. That's all I'm going to say. So I see who pull out and I see who comes into Howard with us. And Al Tariq definitely was on. But we also have brother Rahman there. He might tap out this year, but he might be along. He said he might drive a Can-Am down there or something. But,
okay.
It's that I'm telling you. If you want to test your body, that's a very enduring ride.
It's grueling.
It's grueling, man. And that heat on you, you got brothers out there looking like you done dumped a bucket of water on their head sometime. And I remember the first time Atia did the ride. So big shout out to Atia Rashidi over there at Beth Israel. The first time she did the ride, we got to like Princeton, and I walked out of the 7-Eleven, and Atia was laying on the floor. But know what she said? I was like, Atia, just jump in the car. She was like, no, I'ma make it. And she pushed through and made it for those 3 days. But sometimes it seemed a lot easier, and mentally you all gassed up and had adrenaline. And then it's like if you break your leg and you running on a baby, like, yo, he ran on a broken leg for 3 blocks, but then when the adrenaline wear off, you done fell in the mud somewhere. But that adrenaline. But I think we like 4 years in. Atia killing it though. I've been watching her strive. I'm like, oh my God, I ain't gonna be able. Her and this young lady Talani did like 120 miles the other day. I was like, oh my God, I ain't gonna be able to keep up with the sisters. So let me just say, Haas ain't comparing himself to nobody. If I'm in the back, I'm in the back, but I am gonna make it.
So I've invited Atia a couple times.
Oh, word. Atia, you gotta come on to the Hub Life, man. Come up here late night, get on the mic.
And Miss Atia is always busy. She bike riding so much, she joined the group. And I want them to come and talk about the group. They got all pink and everything. She's seriously into the bike riding.
Yo, I think that's the group Sisters United Bike Club out of big shout out to all the bike clubs that popped up around COVID that's still here. So you got Sisters United, you got Trendsetters, you got Black Watch. The oldest bike group that been here forever that I know of, and as far as predominantly black cyclists, is Major Taylor, but they a staple and they ride, you know what I'm saying? So you got the folks out in the Wanacre Warriors, that group out there, but they've been around for a minute too. So Major Taylor and the Wanacre crew been around for a minute, but Atia and Sisters United, and they also have the Brothers United, And like I said, trendsetters. I just watched this Black Watch. These dudes, I don't know where they from, but they got a podcast. They talk about biking and stuff. So shout out to all the cyclists out here who just want to exercise, live longer, come together and party and do what they do.
Say,
but we gonna raise that money. So I'm gonna ride with a purpose, for a purpose, and on purpose. I don't walk to the store without a purpose. You know, I do everything with a purpose. So it can't be just me and riding a bike and we get together, because I could do that anytime. So riding for this scholarship and raising money for kids, it gives me a reason to do what I'm doing. If not, I'm gonna just get bored with it.
Okay. Here at 135 Prince Street, that Hub Life Radio. Mr. Hub,
shout out.
Mr. Hub was actually walking back and forth. We actually have the cameraman. I believe there's gonna be some pictures.
What, you ain't pay your
and
rent,
there's a video.
brother? He walking. He looked like the rent man walking.
Did you see the no days off chain that he has on?
He got a no days off.
You ain't see it? All right. Well, I'm not gonna talk about nobody was in anybody's pocket.
What,
I'm
that jewelry?
Yeah.
He got jewelry. I don't wear jewelry. I can't afford jewelry. I barely can afford my.
Well, we're gonna take care of that
car.
because one of the things that you're gonna take care of me as your security. Is I have to get that X amount of dollar necklace.
Oh yeah. You
gotta come up with a saying. I'm gonna come up with a saying.
But we got a saying though. We have a saying. That we I'm glad you said sayings, because I want to plug all our things.
There you go. So go ahead, bro.
One of our sayings is, if you want to travel fast, travel alone. But if you want to travel far, travel together. So that's the motto for our ride. We travel together and we travel further. You know what I'm saying? Everybody could be fast and look good, but we gonna get there further with a purpose. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad you said that. I'll try to plug our stuff.
Okay, so since we plugging, it sounds like you got that pack mentality, because when you go on a pack, you move farther. You might not move as fast, but you move farther. You cover more ground. And
I thought you was gonna make Three Doctors the pack from Nook reference. Those my boys too. Shout out to Dr. Davis, Dr. Hunt, and Dr. Jenkins.
Maybe we can get them on here. Maybe we can find them out.
Dr. Jenkins from this hood. He from Quitman, so you might slide through it. Jenkins will roll up. Sam, he from the Dayton Street area. The other.
135 Prince Street, you got to find out from where Magic Mo is going to be at. And you reach out for Magic Mo over there. And then we can get you on. That's Magic Mo. He over there smiling right now.
I thought his name was the new Tyson Beckford.
Oh, my goodness. Here we go.
Like a young model over there.
Here we go. Yeah, you know how it is. And I had to throw that Wolfpack in there because somebody in here decided to wear a Duke T-shirt in this studio.
Oh wow!
In my studio, and I'm just not a Coach K, even though he's a retired Coach K fan. I respect what he did, but I'm not a Coach K fan.
Who took over that? I
don't matter. It don't matter.
Who took over?
Go ahead, Earl. EH. Who? John Shire. Okay. Oh, he was assistant coach, right? Yeah. He just moved in. He was already in the system.
You know what? I grew up like everybody else hating Duke, but I'm not gonna front. I watched this Christian Laettner documentary. I kind of was like, yo, I ain't too bad at Duke no more. So when I see him, I don't have that visceral, like, I used to see a Duke shirt like, ugh, but I don't have that visceral reaction no more. Christian Laettner was a cool dude, man. You know what I'm saying?
Says Mr. Hostile over here.
Word up, man. And when I get nice on a dude like Christian Laettner, he busted.
Okay, he got one lucky shot in at the Final Four. And everybody's
he ruined
going
somebody's dreams.
He ruined my dreams. I think I might have some couple coin shekels on it, way back when.
Yeah.
But it's all good. Here at 135 Prince Street, that Hub Life Radio, we have Mr. Hostile himself.
Yes.
The one of, I want to say one of, but he was the initial founder of the HBCU scholarship ride from Newark, New Jersey to Washington D.C. by way of the unlicensed pharmaceutical specialist area and probably through some spots in Philly, but you do what you got to do.
For all my folks down in Baltimore, I ain't seen nothing. I was focused on the road. I'm like a racehorse with blinders on. I don't see nothing. So big shout out to all the folks in Baltimore. I don't know what part of Baltimore that was, but I don't even.
Was it Southeast?
I don't know. Some lady was like, "You in East Baltimore?" You know, they don't call it Baltimore. They call it like Baltimore. But we will be rolling to this store though in Baltimore Harbor. It's called the HBCU store. It's a super dope store. So anybody out there in the Baltimore area, they got licenses, and I ain't doing no commercial. I'm just telling you what I like. But they got licenses with over 51 HBCUs, so they got dope gear. They got
all
this,
of the stuff.
I don't, you know, when you go to a school, you don't rock nobody else school, but they got a Morgan jacket, that Morgan Bears jacket. That joint has blue and orange, dope. But yes, go ahead, Russ.
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. Oh, it's funny that you said it. So next year, as part of my contract, we're gonna do a commercial. See, that's a sound booth right there. Would they put the light on?
Word.
That's the sound booth on the other side.
Oh, they getting there. They rocking the mic.
They about to do some stuff, so we can actually.
I hope it ain't no drill rap.
We can do
Hub
some.
better be.
We can do some
Ain't no drill
we can
music.
do some stuff going on up here. You can do You can actually do the HBCU scholarship
Song.
Well,
Can y'all write my lyrics? The young kid, y'all can't write my lyrics.
Wait a minute.
I need,
wait.
I need some young kids to write.
Wait
my
a minute now. So what people don't know, I've said it, and people actually didn't believe me, but Bruce Willis' last movie is called A Soul Assassin. You had 2 songs that came out of this studio from that sound booth that's on the soundtrack.
You lying?
I kid you not. You can actually Google it. Maybe I can get somebody, a young lady who sings Penelope, and Mr. Hub is actually on one of the songs. He produced
dope.
it. They have their own distribution contract here.
Ooh, that's big.
So when we talk about you doing
got a bad. Well, the worst thing about Newark, we got so much going on. It's never properly promoted. People be telling me stuff. I'm like, yo, that went on in Newark. I mean, somebody fart in Brooklyn, and they be like, yo, it's a new fart in Brooklyn. You smelt it, but so much stuff happened in Newark, and it's like, yo, I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? So I wish we need a whole, anybody out there in a PR firm, go to City Hall or go walk around Newark, find out all the dope stuff, market it, promote it, and somebody will pay you. But we need a nice big commercial for all the good stuff. But this is a good thing down here, the Hub Radio. This is my first time down here as far as being on a podcast, but I knew it was here, obviously. But yeah, I didn't know all of that went on, but this is dope. I'm a big shout out to Al Tariq for making this happen, and Russ and all the people down here and the young brothers. But this is something positive that our kids are doing in our community. Let's not say kids and separate kids from the elders. This is something dope our community is doing together, where you got old people like me and a young person like that. Right,
Mr. Earl and Mr. Mo.
Earl and Mo.
Getting that momentum up together. Hey, but listen.
Well, which one Earl and which one Mo? Because it could be Curly and Mo.
That's Earl.
Oh, that's Earl.
That's Earl Hart the third. And that's Mr. Mo.
Okay, that's what it is.
So it's funny you said Joyride. They don't really do that here. But if you actually listen at the because you guys didn't hear the intro. You'll hear the intro when I send it to you.
Okay.
The Incredible Beat was actually created one studio over by let me get his name straight. His name is Juan the Don, because he creates beats that nobody can refuse. He's on the other side of the double.
Juan the Don.
That's Juan the Don. Now that's not to be
confused with Don Juan.
Wait a minute. It's not to be confused with Don Juan, who was an original member of the Black Flames, one of the first R&B groups signed by Def Jam.
He was from Newark too?
Don was from Newark, but Don actually he's actually in here. He actually might be in the engineering booth now from the Black Flames, and they were part of the 30th anniversary of Def Jam, or 50th, 40th, whatever it was. They got their band arranged for the Black Flames. I had to go into my garage and find the actual album. He's actually on it. And I'm going to give a shameless plug to the Aloha Crab, where Mr. Don Richardson, Don Dowan, actually is there on Friday nights. So I should be able to get a free rum and Coke, even though I don't drink rum or Coke. From the spot.
So why you want it free? You give it to somebody else?
Yeah, you never know. I bought it for you. It is what it is. Just watching for it pass off.
What
to
they
it.
used to say back in the day, don't tell me Russ perpetrating the fraud.
Well, once I get that HBCU scholarship money, I'll
it's
be able
coming.
to. The champagne, it's
coming, and it's coming. I want to say this too. I really want to bring this up because I thought about it. I would say 90% of our donations come from people that don't live in Newark. And that says a lot. You know what I'm saying? That says that people believe in the youth in Newark, despite anything. You know, they are giving. You know, so a lot of donations, you know, you would think that we have a city of 360,000 and more folks to donate. That might be financial reasons, but I don't even look at that side of that, you know, half empty. I look at it like people believe in this city. People believe in the youth of this city, and they know we are grinders and we are go-getters, and they willing to give that cheddar to these causes. And so far, that money has added up to 177,000. That's not including our 50,000 that we raised this year, going on to another 50,000. So folks believe in our kids and they are donating. So I want to give a shout out. I love my city, but I'm loving the love that we get from other places. And those other places, man, last year somebody from the Portland yoga jail movement donated like, nope, that ain't no joke, no lie. Yoga, I never even knew they had yoga jail movement in Portland or whatever, but they donated like $250.
We talking about Oregon?
Portland, Oregon.
So hopefully this will start going viral. We'll have more people coming. I actually have a long list of guests, and you actually made the top 75, whether you know it or not.
Thank you. I want to be on the top 75.
Using the top 75.
That's a good list.
Yeah, it's a strong list.
Like if you think about it, you say the top 100 songs ever made. That's a tough list. You know how many?
Absolutely.
So out of how many people on this earth?
Oh man, I couldn't even tell you.
7 billion or something. I don't know.
And 2 billion of them is in China.
And guess what? I made a list of 75 people.
Absolutely, you absolutely did.
We are winners. KRS-One said that. KRS-One was like, "You a winner by birth. Do you know you one of 2 billion that made it to fertilize the egg
that won that race,
and then your life expectancy to make it past a year of birth? So you a winner by nature." Is for us to claim that part of ourselves and know that we are, but it's something that this earth tell us that you not nothing. You know what I'm saying? That you will never be anything, but you a winner by just your mere existence on this earth. Said you're a damn winner. You know what I'm saying? You survived, and so we want to help kids thrive, and not only survive, we want to help more North kids thrive in these environments. That's why it's important that y'all go to HBCU Scholarship Ride. All the way at the end of the page is a little donate button, and donate and put a little message of inspiration up there.
Say, there you go. So, you know what? I actually failed to ask you, because it takes one organization 4 days to ride it, but you guys do it in 3. Do you guys have an itinerary where people can say they should be at this point at this time to come and route you on? Or I know you mentioned one stop, but go ahead.
No, we have designated spots that we'll be at, and along the way we do try to support black businesses along the way. So we make a conscious and concerted effort to support black businesses along the way, because black businesses need a little bit more support from, you know, folks, and to be recognized. So we stop in New Brunswick, then we stop in Princeton, and then we stop in Trenton, and then we hit Philly. So we have like 4 stops in Jersey. In Maryland, we try to stop this year. If Malik is listening, Captain Abdul Malik, listen, every 25 miles we stopping. So wherever that leads us, because sometimes if we stop before 25 miles, that adrenaline wear off, and you will see that picture where I'm sleeping on the bench, looking like, you know, an unhoused person or looking like a crazy man. But yes, yeah, so when we get to Maryland, it's going to be every 25 miles. So we'll make 3 stops. But the funny thing, muscle memory, I'm learning about muscle memory. I swear your body will just keep going. And the minute you stop, and that's the law of physics, like a object in motion tends to stay in motion. And if your leg's spinning, so the whole time I'm just like, keep spinning. But if you're in motion, you will get to where you got to get to in a timely fashion. But once you stop, then you got to build that momentum up. It's almost like with me, and it's a ill metaphor, me graduate from school. Like I was in school in the 90s and I stopped, and it took damn near 20 years of momentum to get me back in school again. Did I have, and at certain points I had a lot more money then than I do now, but it was just once I got in and I said, I don't care if I take 1 class a semester, I'm not stopping. So I don't care, it's an old cliche Chinese proverb, but a 1,000,000-mile journey begins with one step. So that's what, that's how we do, how you eat an elephant, one bite at a time. So.
Another sample of motion is just ask Mr. Haas one question. He goes on. He makes my job so much easier.
Oh, yeah, I told you. I turn a half an hour podcast into a 5 hour
a telethon
3 episode show or something.
Oh, it's no problem. So what we want to do is at some point in time, because you actually have it coming up within the next when is it?
Week. We have the actual ride. So everybody, hopefully when you see this, is before August 25th. So the ride takes place and it starts at Military Park at 8:00 in the morning, August 25th. So we want to turn that into a community festival. So last year we had our big title sponsor, big shout out to Columbia Bank, gave us $10K last year, and they helped this year also. But they were out there, so we had a check presentation. We had a bunch of dignitaries wishing us well, and it was food out there. And so if y'all not doing anything, August 25th, 8:00 in the morning, if you up, come down to Military Park and see us off. No lie, one time a dude walked out of the Robert Treat Hotel. Random dude listening to us. He was like, I want to donate. And everybody was like, let's get his number. That dude donated $1,500.
Wow.
On the spot.
See?
Just saying, what are y'all doing? We riding our bikes down to DC to raise money. Dude just was like, boom, I'll donate. I thought he was lying. I get on the road. By the time we got to New Brunswick, I'm like, yo, that dude wasn't lying. $1,500 in the GoFundMe. You know what I'm saying? So,
So you mean to tell me that you got people donating at all times, in all ways, in all shapes, and you mentioned one bank, but you mean Newark got like 100 banks in it. You ain't heard nothing from Chase, PNC.
Hey, listen,
Santander.
I don't know how far your radio podcast voice stretch, but all of those banks he just named, we do take donations, man, and it's important that we hold businesses accountable. So I want to shout out the businesses that do support us first. And if you need a lawyer, I don't know, y'all about to get some free airtime, but
go ahead with it, bro.
Souder, Shabazz, and Woolrich Law Firm is definitely a big supporter. The nonprofit Plainfield Now is a big supporter. The Believe in Newark Foundation is a big supporter. Columbia Bank, a big supporter. And actually, one of our new supporters, another guy that I met at a 50th birthday party, the Sean Bush Family Fund, the guy Sean Bush, we met through a mutual friend, and she was telling him about the ride, like on the spot. She telling him about the ride. He like, so tell me how this works. And on the spot, Sean donated $2,500. Just like that. He was like, yo, my son graduated from college. I guess I don't got to make them last 2 payments. Here you go. But it's just that this ride sparked so much in people to give. And I mention him not only because it was a big gesture, but because that man didn't know me. He heard about this thing 3 minutes ago, but he felt the need to support some Newark students. I think he was a former Newark resident, but he doesn't live in Newark now. But he felt the need to support some kids. I told him about the girl from Spelman we giving $2,500 to. He said, I'm supporting her. And that's crazy. And that's the type of, we grow up with this hustle mentality in Newark, because a lot of us grow up poor and in the lower economic statuses. So we believe this hustle game, and I got to get money, but what about giving? What you got to give? We know what you got to get, but what do you have to give? And for brothers to give, that moved me. So far, that has been the biggest thing. I'm like, damn, in 5 minutes, this brother said, I'm going to support a young lady who I don't know, and she doesn't know me. And he gave right there. And he actually, a month later, I text him and I said, yo, we still on for that bread? He said, I'll zell it to you, and I'm leaving wherever he going. Big shout out. He on vacation now, but I wish I was there with you grabbing up some of that sun. But that man literally zelled me that $2,500, and I put it right in our GoFundMe, and I was like, damn that. And another thing, for people to entrust you with that money. Because besides people, kids don't play with their money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for people to trust me with that says a lot to me, and it gives me not only your fiduciary responsibility as a nonprofit, but just as an individual person in general. For people to trust me, I feel good about that, and I don't take that lightly. But you know, that was one of the things.
Sound like you get a lot of community love. We'll see if we can spread it a little bit more. You get a little bit more as this goes to the internet airwaves.
Yes.
Brother Haas is, as you can tell, he's a little passionate about what he does.
Very, not a little, and I ain't ashamed of that. I'm very, very passionate about our youth, because if you let me get some last words, I'm gonna tell you why. But I'm gonna let you get some last words, because I like the way you flow with it. You go on with your show.
No. Yeah. Listen. But right now, you know, after you cut my other check, because we gonna do what I wanted to do at some point, because I didn't think about it till the lights came on in the actual sound booth, that you actually do need to do a commercial, put on the internet. You get all your friends to share it. And then it goes throughout the internet neighborhood, whether it's Instagram or Facebook. They got a distribution deal. There's plenty of opportunities where we can commercialize and bring more money into the system. We just need a little bit of support. Get you to do it. We need to drop this one kind of quick. It takes us a minute here sometimes to drop some stuff. I got like 3 shows in the pipeline, I believe.
Okay.
Mo was on 2 of them. I think I got 2 others, but we want to kind of expedite what you have going on here. So, of course, I'm going to give you a couple of more minutes, because I want you to, once again, thank all your sponsors, thank everybody that's instrumental. That could even include your kids, include everybody, because you didn't get here alone.
No.
It's a blessing for you to get here. So with that being said, here at 135 Prince Street, that Hub Life Radio, Legends with Russell Thomas, Mr. Haas with Styles, I want you to take the mic, and I want you to thank everybody that got you to this point, no matter big or small, whether it was 50 cents or a kind word. Take it away, Haas.
First, I want to thank God for allowing me to be a vessel of some sort of inspiration and a financial vessel for kids who need it. And then I want to thank my family, friends, my fiance. I want to thank all the sponsors that's been there from the beginning, and a special thank you to the HBCU scholarship ride board members. You know what I'm saying? Colleen, Talani, and Yolanda, Al Tariq, Delante, Malik. Who am I forgetting? Jenny. You know what I'm saying? Atia. You know, the all the board members who, we don't do this alone. So I'm up here talking alone, but it's a group of people behind me that are instrumental, not just behind me making up some grand thing, but all right, Haas, this is your idea, and this is how we get to that. So the building out of that idea, that's other people. You know what I mean? The keeping me focused part. Because if it was me, I'd be throwing 1 million parties and 1,000 bike rides, and they like, nah, we can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So having board members and understanding that as a not catching founder syndrome. And founder syndrome is when you start something up and you're the founder, and then you holding on to it so tight you're not allowing it to grow, and you are actually hindering the growth of your own organization and your own progress. So I'm always aware of that. So I'm always, you know, a little bit generous with saying, you know what, let them do that. Let's see how far it goes. Because once other people take ownership of an idea, then they push it further. But big shout out, really, I want to give a shout out to all 15 of our scholars this year and those young kids, because they're the reason we're doing it. So all 15 of those kids going to Hampton, Howard, Tuskegee, Morehouse, Spelman, North Carolina A&T. You know, big shout out to all of them who starting a matriculation at these dope schools, and they coming back with all that beautiful blackness and all that knowledge. So the main thing about our ride is we want folks to leave, go to these schools, but come back to our city. So if we could send 15 kids away to school and 7 of them come back and make our city better, and instead of us looking at RIP t-shirts, we looking at Hampton t-shirts, we looking at Morgan t-shirts, we looking at Howard t-shirts, we looking at Hampton alum hats and Spelman alum. We need to see more of that when I walk in ShopRite and things. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see no bandanas. I'm a grown man. I don't want to see any of that. I want to see our people doing positive things. And the only way that we make Newark better is make sure all of y'all, when y'all graduate, y'all come back home. You know what I'm saying? Y'all come back home and y'all buy houses and y'all open up businesses and y'all work and make this city dope, because when you leave for college, you have certain expectations when you come back. You know what I'm saying? You like, yo, I'm used to going to the cafe when after class. So now you want a cafe when you home. So guess what? You might open one up. Well, I'm used to the clothing store being right here. I'm used to this type of grocery store. So you bring those ideas back. I tell people all the time, what's the use of you going down to this great school, getting an engineering degree, and then your mother block falling apart? That mean that education that you receive, that's how we measure a successful and good education. I don't look at you and say you went to Princeton, you got a good education. I look at you and say, how can that education help me and help your community out? So if you could bring that Princeton degree, that Howard degree back and help your community out and build some stuff and open up some businesses, then I say, oh, he got a good education, whether you went to Essex County or whether you went to Harvard.
Or NJIT.
I love NJIT. Big, you know, that's another Newark. I love, besides my HBCUs, I love my Newark, New Jersey schools. Big shout out to Gateway U. They got another school. There's a young lady named Samar running a school called Gateway U down there in Berkeley, Essex County, NJIT, Rutgers University. So all of these schools, Newark a little college town, but we don't look at it like we rather brag about how we shooting up a block or this block tough or something like that. Like, brag about how we a college town and we need to increase enrollment in those colleges and make sure we flood all of those schools, especially NJIT and Rutgers. Flood them things up.
So you know what? I was going to end on that note, but I had to ask. So I got a couple of texts during this conversation. So the text was interesting, and I didn't even realize it. You at no time during this interview did you mention anybody from any of the Divine Nine?
Oh, the Divine Nine. You know what? Let me give a shout out to our Divine Nine brothers and sisters out there, the Alphas and the Megas and the Kappas and the AKAs and the Sigmas. And we just had a big Divine Nine Sigma class come over. I think it was the 83 they call themselves, but it was a bunch of amazing black women in that Delta class right there.
It was a huge class.
It was a very Atia was in what year?
So here's the
shout out to Atia.
Whoa. Before because Atia is Delta.
Yes, she is.
And she's been ducking coming on Legends with Russell Thomas. Well, she's been busy, but I'm taking it she's been ducking. And Asia, y'all call her Asia. Miss Norton.
Oh yeah, Miss Norton
is an AKA. And she's been on here.
She's been on, and she just
what'd she do?
She just finished up law school.
She just graduated.
Graduated law school. Yes, I just was at a block party that Ryan Hager gives over in the South Ward, passing the baton, and Asia was up there. She's about to take her bar. Hopefully that was Wednesday. I know she's a smart young lady, so she passed. Her and the other young lady, I don't know her name, but big shout out to them for doing that. And that's Asia's an example of someone utilizing their education to make our city better. And the Divine Nine, I'm sorry I didn't shout them out, but they need to make that Divine Nine donation.
There you go. Talk about it.
Can I give a shout out to the Masonic Lodge, the one on Irvin Turner? I don't want to get their names wrong, but those brothers gave us $1,000. So I want to give a big shout out to the lodge on Irvin Turner. I forgot. My man Levi hooked that up. Thank you, brother Levi.
Which Levi?
Levi, what's
the one that retired?
No, Levi ain't retired. What's Levi's last name? He married to my homegirl Suki.
Okay. So all right, listen, you got everything in.
I got everything.
You got everything.
Thank you, Russ. I appreciate it. You asked me to come up, like my mentor would say. You call, I come running.
There you go. It's late at night. I know you want to eat.
Yes, sir.
So I see Mo over there. Mo
drifting. We was boring, Mo.
Mo was having a moment. He's checking the stocks over there. And we got EH3 over here. He said he was going to take a couple notes and do his podcast. So not only does he owe me a visit on his podcast when he gets up, there's a check that comes attached to this.
Can I give these young brothers a shout out?
Absolutely. Go ahead, bro.
Let me say, I'm an observer sometimes. So these two young brothers sat here. I don't think one time they grabbed their phones. That's incredible, bro. You know what type of mental feat that is for young kids to stay focused for an hour of two people just yapping back and forth, and he grabs his phone. He breaks the cycle.
When they
Damn, as soon as I say it, he grabbed the phone. Sorry, I take my shout out back.
No. Let me tell you what happens. Because, first of all, I don't know. A lot of people don't know this space is pretty much it's very bad for getting emails and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So they communicate reception. So they actually communicate with Mo through his phone. On the other side of this wall is actually a video communication where they do editing.
So maybe that was y'all didn't deserve that shout out. So the only reason they ain't on their phones because they ain't get no service down here.
Well, I think he gets text because the executive producer, one of the executive producers, actually communicates with him where you at in the show if everything's up. So that's why he's there monitoring. So he's good. Right. And Earl is over there. He's taking notes because, like I said, I do expect. You
know who Earl of Pearl is?
He's a Knick fan.
Oh yeah.
He's a Knick. He knows. And he approached me this year at an event and said, "Listen, I want to make something happen." So we're gonna.
I got one more shout out.
Go ahead, bro.
I want to shout out to Russ and the Hub for having this platform and allowing me to get on this platform. And I don't take anything for granted. And I am extremely just sincere in my warm thank yous to this brother for allowing me to come up here and spread the word about the HBCU scholarship ride and all the work that we are doing in this city to make our city better. Thank you, Russ.
Oh, you're welcome, bro. So I'm sure we'll see each other in passing somewhere, in some famous location.
We should.
Even if it's just not Chateau, I'm sure we'll figure it out somewhere.
We'll figure it out. Maybe, you will be on security detail. We'll work out.
Absolutely.
I'll send the contract over.
There you
later.
go. Now we talking.
But thank you, Hub, and I'm gonna get Ghost.
Okay, there we go.
All right, I'll see y'all one more time. I see you August 25th, 8 a.m. Come down to Military Park. See us off.
For the send-off. All right, here for Mr. Haas with Styles, Sabur. I'm Russell Thomas with Legends with Russell Thomas.